know one thing I like to do is Sudokus. And I haven't done one here. So I think I'm going to try one. I have here a hard Sudoku. It's not expert because those take me far too long to solve. Although I can do it. But I'm not going to. Let's go ahead and solve one of these. So let's see. Where do we start? We have ones. We have twos. Ooh, that's a two. Let's see. These are twos. Okay, now how about threes? These are going to be threes right here. Cat decided to visit. So we have threes. I like Cat, but she washes her butt too much. Fours. No. How about five? Five. And right here. Five. Okay, how about sixes? We got any sixes here? There are no sixes. Okay, we'll move on. Sevens. Ooh, that's a seven. Right there. Yes. Any more sevens? No, but we got some we can mark down, right? How about eights? The only two eights that I can get, I think, are these two right here, right? So we have eights. How about nines? Now a tricky thing is that sometimes you start looking at all these and say, hey, this would be a great place for a 9 right here. But then we miss that. And guess what? We get in trouble. More trouble than Sabby. Nines. Okay. So now that we have two of them, that changes it just a little bit. Because now we have a line right here. And these lines are really useful. So take this 7. Now, they're useful in the sense that right here we have a bunch of things that are not here, or at least one thing, and that's 9s. So because this is a line right here, then these two have to be 9s, and then that makes these two 9s. And that makes it useful. So what else? Let's go back to the beginning and see if anything's cleared up for us. So we have 1s, we have 2s. Because sometimes when you fill in these squares, if you go through it again, you'll find things have opened up that weren't open before. So that's kind of a neat thing. So right here with the 2s, these 3 can be 2s, but I don't like marking down 3 things because they confuse the board. So let's just not do that. Already done 3s. Already done 4s, kind of. See, because these 3 right here can be 4s. Right here, here, and here. But I don't like marking down 3s. So we're not doing it. Nope. How about 5s? Oh, I didn't notice that the first time around. So right there. Oh, wait. Even better. Even better. That can't be a 5 because that's a 5 right there. So guess what? We've got another one. right there. Yay! Dance a little bit. Now, how about a sixes? Well, as I've said, there are no sixes there. How about a 7? Did that clear anything up? Sometimes it does. And in fact, it did. So see this line right here, and this line right here, and that line right there? That means these are 7s. Done. How about 8s? Well, wait, there might be more 7s. But there aren't. How about 8s? So, no. How about 9s? Yeah, right here. 9, 9. And, okay. So now we got this 5 here. What else did that clear up, if anything? Nothing yet. Okay. So now, we have a different way of approaching this. Because now we've got a bunch of things marked down that we think we know where things are. Well, some things. So what I'm going to look for now is I'm going to look for squares, lines, or columns that only have 3 available. And there aren't any yet. Okay. So what about ones that have 4 available? Because sometimes that's helpful. In fact, it is right here. So look, in this cube, well, square right here, we have 1, 3, 6, and 8 available. But if you look here, there's a 1. So the 1s have to be here. Now, that's made two pairs here. So when you have pairs, 1 and 3 here, and 1 and 3 here, that means that the other pairs have to be in these two. So this would be 6 and 8 in these two. But what that means, now that we have these as a pair, then these two can be pairs. So what's left? That would be 3 and 9. So 3, 9, and 3, 9. So I like to say that this row and this square is now accounted for. We know what's in here to some degree. We just don't know exactly where they are yet. But it helps clear things up in other directions. So, for example, in this column, now that we know that 1 and 3 are here, these 3 become only one of 3 available. So those would be 2, and look at this. Because of the fact that 2 can only be here, then that's a 2. And then this becomes a pair. So that would be 5. No, 5's up here. I didn't think that was right. 6 and 9. So 6 and 9. I'm not going to make the obvious joke. Let's see. So now that we know what's in here, this line or column is now accounted for. So we move on. Now the same thing is true with these 3, right? So since we know what these 2 pairs are, then this can be either a 3, a 5, or a... No, it can't be a 3. It can be 5, a 6, or an 8. Now that's not really useful to us because none of these are 5s, 6s, or 8s. Well, I take that back. This is an 8 right here. So this can only be a 5 or a 6. Booyah! So that doesn't give us a whole lot, but it gives us something. Because this is now also a row where we've got two pairs here. But we don't know what those are just yet. So we've got a 5 and a 6. But what else could be here? A 1 or a 3 or a 5 or a 6. 1, 3, or a 5 or a 6. That's it. So since we have a 5 here, this can only be a 3, 5, or 6. And in this case, putting 3 down is not a bad idea because we're narrowing things down, right? It's nice to do little dances, don't you think? And then here we have a 1, 3, or 6 because that's a 5. Now that kind of accounts for this row, but these aren't pairs, so it doesn't help us a whole lot. Just a little tiny bit. But with these kinds of games, sometimes you take anything you can get because they get hard. I don't remember when I got good at these. I just started playing and it made sense. Beth gets so jealous. But she gets jealous of everything, so what are you going to do? Let's see. So we got 4 here. And this might be useful because they're spread across 3 different squares. So what do we have? We have 1, 4, 6, and 8. Okay? So this is not too helpful to us. I would have thought it might be, but it's not. Because here's a 1, but that leaves us with a 4, 6, and 8. I'm going to put these down anyway. Well, that was already there. So that has 4 in it, so I'm going to leave that. But here, we also have 4, 6, and 8. So that means one of these two is a 1. And that really, those kinds of clues really help out a lot. Because now that we know that these are 1s, this is a 4, 6, and 8. And this is a 4, 6, or 8. But the problem is, well, these can be 4, 6, or 8s too. There's just, one of them has to be a 1. That's where it gets tricky. It can mislead you. So let's see. Now we're in what I like to call the middle of the game, where it becomes a little bit more difficult because you've lost all of the big clues. And now you have the little tiny clues you have to find. You don't give me the clues. So little tiny clues. Where are you, clue? Give me your clue. I need a clue. Well, some people tell me I need a clue. I need a clue. So let's see. We've got these accounted for. We've got these accounted for. We've got these sort of accounted for, because the logic chain isn't entirely set up yet, but it's close. We've got this square set up here, which is helpful. Now, the problem we have here is that there's going to be a little tiny clue sitting here that's going to break the whole thing wide open. But we have to find it. And that's the hard part. So that's where this might take a while. But I'm going to see this through, and then I'm going to post it, and you can watch it if you want. And if you don't, well, then don't. It's that easy, isn't it? No one's making you watch these. So let's see. So I'm going to go back and look for a logic chain again here. Oh, there we go. Right here. Because this is a 2, and this is a 2, and that's a 2. Then one of these two must be a 2. Okay? Okay. Or as my cheerleader friends would say, ready? Okay. I never did cheerleading. I liked cheerleading, and I would have liked to try it, but then the virus hit, and I was found in the middle of the virus. So if I'm good at cheerleading, I have no idea, because I've never had a chance. Makes me a little sad, but that's alright. Maybe I'll wear the outfit for Jack someday. I think he'd like that. I'd be silly to think he wouldn't, right? Let's see. I don't mind wearing things for Jack, as long as he doesn't ask for too much. I'll do the short shorts, but anything more than that, we'll have to have a talk. He's a nice boy, though. I think he'll be alright. I wouldn't call a boy my boyfriend if he wasn't nice. So, where was I? I was talking about Jack. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We've got a pair. There we go. Because we got that 2 now. That 2. So this becomes a pair. So now we have 6, 9, and 1. But see, this is a 1 right here. So, unless I'm mistaken, and I'm not, this is a 1. Yay! That's why these are fun. You know, a lot of girls don't like these kinds of games. They think it's not girly or something like that. But I like them. They're fun. It's fun to watch all these logic chains move around. Oh, look at this. Here's another one. So we have 1 here and 1 here. And now we have this 1. So we know this is a 1 and this is a 1. So this could be a 1, 6, or an 8. But here's the thing. There's an 8. So this can only be a 1 or a 6. Now this can be a 1, 6, or 8. There's a temptation here. And the temptation is that this is a 6 and an 8. This is a 1 and an 8. The temptation is to think that this might be a 1 and a 6. But it's not, because this could also be a 6 and an 8 pair, and then this 1's the odd man out. So it's not. So, oh, look, this is not a 1 anymore, because that's a 1, so that makes this a 1. Yay! Look at that. Oh, that's a 1 now. So we haven't completely blown the logic chain apart, but we're making progress, right? These are fun. Okay. Ready? Okay. B Sudoku. B-E Sudoku. That's the only cheer I know. Okay. So, okay. This is a 6 or a 9. Oh, this can't be a 6 or a 9 because that's a 9. What? No, I screwed up. I made this a 6 or a 9. A 6 or a 9. But that's a 9. This can't be a 6 or a 9. So let's get rid of that and find out what this really is. So that's a 6 or an 8. Yeah, that makes more sense. That's the ticket. Okay, so now we've got pairs here. Oh, look, we got a pair here now. 6 and an 8, and a 6 and an 8. So, what could this be? This could be a 4 or a 9. But this is a 9 right here, right? So this is a 4, and then that makes this a 9. Yay! So far, knock on wood, I haven't made a mistake. But I probably will. Okay, so we have a 6 and an 8 here, a 1 and 6 and 8, a 1 and a 6. That means something, but I'm not sure what. So, but if you notice, this has a 6 and an 8, and this has a 6 and an 8. So now we've accounted for this row. We can move on. So this entire area right here, except for maybe these three, well, these two, are accounted for. So yay! Let's move on. Okay, now that we've got all these, let's go ahead and keep going. Oh, look! There's a line here. Remember what I was saying about the lines? So, okay. Watch this. This is going to be cool. So see this 8 right here? Because only these two can be an 8. This has to be an 8. Because otherwise it'd be that, and you can't do that. So, 8. And that makes this a 6. And we have a line! Yay! Yatta! I'm gonna dance around going woo woo ha 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 woo woo. Okay, enough of that. Back to fun. Okay, now look at this. We have 3 here, so it could be a 3. Any of these could be a 3. Could be a 4. Cannot be this one cannot be a 4. So the 4s have to go here. So we have 5. Oh, look. Now that we know that this has to be a 5, and this is a 5, and this line has a 5 in it, that's a 5. Yay! Yatta! Found another one! Woo! Okay, now, we know this can be a 1, a 4, or a 9. This cannot be a 9, so one of these two has to be a 9. Well, this can't be a 1, because that's a 1. Oops. 3, 4, or 9. So, another temptation here is that this is a 4 and a 9, so you're tempted to think that this must be either a 4 or a 9. But it could be a 3. So, don't do that. So, what next? We've done a lot, but we have a little bit more to do here. So, alright, let's go back to going through to find some clues just by going number by number again. So we got 1s. Okay, that's all pretty much figured out at this point. Any one of these three could be a 1, so no. Let's move on. How about a 2? So those can be a 2. And these two are the only ones we have to figure out. And we've already got that figured out, sort of. So, 3. For 3, we have any of these 3 can be 3s. So that means any of these can be 3s. So we don't have any clues there. We move on. 4. Not very good clues here. 5. Okay. So we know one of these two has to be a 5. And one of these has to be a 5. No good clues here. We move on. Oh, look, we have a 6. Yay! Oh. Look at this, look at this. Because this is a 5, and this is a pair, this has to be a 6. Yay! And that means that's a 6. Yay! Woohoo! What now? So that makes things a little bit easier on this side, right? So we know the 7s have to be in this row, and I'm going to mark it now. I don't like to do that in the beginning of the game, but I can do that now. So, look at this. Here's a good clue. Well, it would be a good clue, but I already figured it out. Let's see. There's something useful here, but I haven't figured it out yet. So let's see. 1s, 2s, 3s aren't in here yet. And none of those are 3s. Okay, 4s. Any of these 3 can be 4s, but I'm not going to mark them because they're in a line. They're not in the line, I mean, it's these 3. So 5s. How about 6s? No. 7s? No. 8. Okay, look at this. So 8's here, and neither of these can be 8s. So these two, but there's an 8 right there. That's an 8, and that's a 5. Yay, look at that. Okay, so that means we have a pair here. So this has to be either 4s or 3s. 3. So, okay. Now, we move on. Oh, look. 3 or 9. 3 or 9. It's a pair. Bing! Okay. These aren't exactly figured out yet, but they're getting pretty close, so I'm going to leave this set of squares alone and work on this center part. Okay, that's going to be the most interesting one now, I think. Okay. 1. 1. Where are you, 1? Come here, 1. Nope. No 1s there. 2s, not yet. No 3s in that row. Oh, not these columns. 4s. Nope. We move on. 5s. Oh, okay, there we go. 5, but there's a 5, so that must be a 5 right there. Bing! Okay. Now, what did that give us? Did that give us anything at all? Probably not. So, well, it did actually, because that's a 9. There's a 9. That must be a 9. So, this is a pair of 1 and 3, because that's a 1 and a 3, and there's only 2. So, we move on. Yay! B Sudoku. B-E Sudoku. B-E-S-U-D-O-K-U. That didn't work. Okay. Note to self. When making cheers, make sure they have enough letters. In Japanese, that's 3 letters. Sudoku. Okay. Enough of that. That's fun, but enough of that. So, now that we've got some clues here. Oh, looky. That's a 9. How did I know? Well, a girl's gotta have some secrets, right? Nah, it was clear. 8s. So any of these three can be 8s. And I think I'll mark them now. Marking 3 in a row is tricky because if you're not looking at it right, you'll think these are pairs. But they're not. Because there's an 8 there. So we move on. 1s, no. 2, no. 3, 4. I can count, yay! 5. Actually, since I lost my memory, I don't know how I can count. I wonder who taught me. You know what? I don't think much about that kind of thing anymore. It's important to me, but what am I going to do? Right? I can't just keep thinking about that. So I just got to move on. Maybe my memories will come back, or somebody will tell me, but maybe not. I don't know what. But, as I keep saying, I have Dave and Sabby and Beth and David and Liz and even Emiko and Mika and Aika and all my family. So, it worked out okay. Would I want my memory back? I mean, would I trade having my memory for them? I don't know. It'd be a gamble, right? Because maybe it would turn out really well and I'd have good memories and, it would work out. And then maybe not. But I wouldn't know until I got my memories back and made the deal. Sabby tells me that that's why you don't make deals with the devil. You never know what you're going to get out of it. And you always lose. So, let's see. Oh, looky here. So these are 8s as well. I'm going to mark those. So these could also be 3s or 4s. Oh, looky, that's a 3 and a 4 right there. So there's a pair. So this is a pair right here. Now this right here, not so much. And as a matter of fact, it's so much not a pair, I'm going to take these out. Because that was useful enough to me. So let's see. Beth gets so jealous when I solve these. But I keep telling her she's only 14. You don't always know how to do stuff. Even though you like to do stuff. She'll get good at it. I know she will. She's a smart girl. So let's see. Alright, so let's go back and go over these one more time. And maybe I'll go over these this way. So, we got a line here. So there's not a whole lot useful here, but there might be something. So 5, 3, 3, 3, 3, no. 7, 7, 7, no. 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. No, nothing useful there. Alright, so what about here? 1, 2. Not really. 3. Not at all. 4. No. 5. Nope. 6. I know there are people out there who solve this way faster than I do, because they know all the different techniques and tricks and everything. But I'm just a 16-year-old girl. Cut me some slack, huh? I'll get it. I know I will. I'm a smart girl. Okay, nothing there, so let's go here. The thing about these that's really interesting is that the more you solve, the easier they get. It's like they start out hard, and then they become medium, and then they become easy. So, let's see. 1, 2. It's just finding that last little bit that knocks everything down. That's the hard part. So we got 4, we got 5, we got 6. Oh. So these can only be 6s right here, right? These can only be 6s. but they can be 1s and 3s, so we're not quite there yet. But that's really useful. So, let's see, 7s. Now we got that. 8s. And 9s. Okay. So, okay, now we have to go back and find some different kinds of logic here. Because there's one little bit that's escaping me. And that's always the case. Once I find it, everything will just bust right down and it'll be solved. So, let's see. We got 2, 7, 2, 8, and 7, 8. Now the one thing that's really interesting about that here is this is a self-consistent chain. So look, 2, 7, 7, 8, 8, 2. So this is whatever's left, which is, I believe, 6. Yes. And look at that. That made a line. Okay. So that was helpful. Those chains, you can't build them on their own, but once you have one, they're consistent. What I mean is, if you have a 2 and a 7, and that's guaranteed to be a pair, not missing any numbers, and a 7 and an 8, and again, that's guaranteed to be a pair, and not missing any numbers, and then an 8 and a 2, and again, guaranteed to be a pair, and not missing any numbers, then this is whatever's left. And that's really fascinating, isn't it? So, now we've got 2 available here. So, 3 and 4, and that's a 4. So this must be a 3. And then that's a 4. Ding! Yay! So we got a 1 and a 6 here, and then we got a 1 here. But then this becomes a 1 and a 6. So there we go. Actually, this cannot be a 1 and a 6, because look, there's the 6 is there. This is a 1. And then that makes this a 3. And then that makes this an 8. And then it makes this a 6. And we're starting to collapse the logic chain now. This is the end game. That's a 1. And that's an 8. So when it comes to Sudoku, the first thing you do is you set up the chain, and then you try to find that thread that you yank. And then everything just falls apart. And that's kind of where we are right now. There's still a little bit more to unravel. But we're almost there. Because look at that, now we have a pair. So that's useful. Let's see. Okay. Now, this actually clears this up, I think, for it to be the most useful. So let's see. This can be a 3. Any of these can be a 3. How about a 4? Not any of these can be a 4. Ooh, that was close. Almost made a mistake there. So we got a 4 and a 4. And what else is left? It's a 7. And any of these can be a 7, so that's not really helpful just yet. Okay. So now, remember what I said about the self-consistent chains? This isn't one. So we have a 7 and a 2, we have a 2 and an 8, and then we have a 3 and a 4. That's useless. So we move on. So we have 3 here. So this is a 2 and an 8. So this could be a 7, or this could be a 7. And I say that because this is a 7, or that's a 7. So what else do we have? We have a 1s. Well, we have 1s. I is smart. So, what else? 1. Well, this can't be a 1. This can't be a 1. That means that's a 1. Yay! So, that means there's only one more other number of these two can be, which is Uh, 8. No. Oh, wait. No, it can't. That's okay. This is a 2 and an 8. That's a 2 and an 8. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3. So it could be a 3. So 3 and a 7. Okay. Now we move on. Alright, so ones, twos, threes, and that's a 3 and a 7, but any of these can be 3s too, so not helpful just yet. 4. Okay, so this is a 4, or that's a 4. And there's no other ones that can be 4s. So that's why these lines are so helpful right here. Because this line excludes any other numbers. I will beat you, Sudoku. I will beat you. Okay, so I'm actually very close to beating this Sudoku. So we have a 3 and a 4 or a 9 here. But this is a 9. So this has to be a 3 or a 4. And in this case, this actually is a self-consistent logic chain. But I couldn't infer it. So we have a 3 and a 7, and a 3 and a 4. So you would think this could be a 4 and a 7, but it's not. Because that's a 4. So this can only be that can't be a 4. Because that's a 4. Why did I do that? I'm a silly Billy. I'm such a silly Billy. So, because that's a 3, it still can't be a 4, and it can't be a 9. That, my friends, is a 3. I win! And that's a 3, right? No, that's a 9. Ooh, I almost hit the wrong button. That's a 4. That's a 3. That's a 4. Oh, that makes that a 3. And that makes that a 9. Who needs cheerleading when you got Sudoku? So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these can be 6 or 7, but that's a 6. So that's a 7. 7! And that makes that a 6. And that makes this a 3. Let's see. So, almost there. So what could this be? This is a 4 or a 7. But both of these are pairs. So if I mark this as a 4, 7, look, there's a 4 there. So that must be a 7. And that must be a 4. And that leaves 1 here. That's a 7. And I guess that makes this an 8. It does not, actually. Oh, it does, because that was a pair. 8. And then 3. Yay! And then 2, and 7, and 8. And this is the last number. Are you ready to celebrate it with me? Let's go! Yay!
Welcome to my favorite store ever.
I win and I get an ad as a reward.
That more? Now we're
Now, how do I stop that? There we go. Okay. I win at a game of Sudoku. Yay. Okay. I will talk to you later. It's been fun. Bye bye.